Let me hear from Lob first before.
Madam Speaker, you see, there is a reason why our laws are to a great extent very clear. The Public Finance Management Act provides for supplementaries. They are within the law. But there's a coding, there is a justification for supplementary budget. Unforeseeables. I am struggling, really struggling, to understand how unforeseeable some of these things are, in all honesty. That we have got to do it in a haste. You said this is our last supper, our last sitting, you said. So
I did not say that.
You used the words last supper, Madam Speaker. I don't know what you meant. But you used it twice. Anyhow, Madam Speaker, we are closing down as Parliament, and we seem to be in a haste to appropriate money for what we are saying is unforeseeable. I am struggling to understand how unforeseeable some of these things are. We've talked about the inaugural ceremony. There is money for Atiak, Right Honourable Speaker, 37.9 billion. We have been here and we have screamed our voices hoarse about projects like Atiak. There is another one, Day by a Farmer.
Honourable Musasi, I want you to listen on Atiak.
Madam Prime Minister, don't interrupt Honourable Musasi. He needs to listen to these critical issues. We have talked about Day by a Farmer, which was given free money, 778 billion. Money was given to Inspire Africa Coffee Factory in Tungamo, 180 billion plus. Roko, 260 billion shillings plus. Of course, there's Lubowa Specialized Hospital, which has become a white elephant. We then talked about Atiak Sugar Factory. So far, 668 billion shillings over the years to Atiak Sugar Factory. It's a factory I went to visit with colleagues. And there is no sugar coming out of there for the last couple of years. But every year we keep appropriating money. Now we're even bringing money through a supplementary for Atiak Sugar Factory. Help me understand. Who is this Atiak person that we have got to keep giving them money, billions of shillings on an annual basis, that now it even has to come through a supplementary, that it is an emergency? Right, Honourable Speaker, to the taxpayers who are watching us, we could be seen as conduits of fraud. Fraud is when you are paid for a service and you don't deliver it. You have given 668 billion shillings so far to Atiak. No sugar is coming out of there, and this is free money. You want to add them money. For what? I don't understand.
Thank you.
Right, Honourable Speaker, the classified that's indicated here, within the 3% legal limit, 300 billion. Outside the 3%, 110 billion. That's a total of 410 billion shillings. Look, every country will have a classified budget. But you see, your classified budget has got to be tethered to your revenue. You cannot be a heavily indebted poor country and you keep having trillions of classified budget. Now you have a supplementary for classified 410 billion shillings. A few days to the closure of government. What are you going to do in these few days for this classified of 410 billion shillings? Honourable Speaker, yes, our rules can be suspended and all of that, but these things should make sense to the taxpayer. They should make sense. Now, the taxpayer might try and understand you on the hospitals and so on, and hopefully that money will go to the hospitals. Because many times we pass money for some of these things and it is fired. When you read the accountability reports, you see money was transferred from this and taken to something else. So hopefully for the hospital money, it gets to do that. But help the taxpayer to understand this 410 classified budget billion. For a few days, government is closing down. Billions to Atiak Sugar Factory that you've been giving money. Nothing is happening there. I want to understand, Right Honourable Speaker. I genuinely want to understand from Prime Minister and her team. Help me and the taxpayer whom you're going to squeeze a lot more. You recently passed here more money, higher taxes on fuel and so on. So the taxpayer is paying for these things. Help the taxpayer to understand.
Thank you.
We are
Thank
waiting.
you. Thank you. Honorable Lob.
Honourable Speaker, I seek your procedural indulgence. We were here a couple of months ago, and I was giving a report to this House about Atiak sugar factory, which we give billions, no sugar coming out of there, Day by a Farmer, Inspire Africa Coffee, Rocco, and so on. The response by government was that we have acquired stake in a number of these entities. I then asked, where are the share certificates? Where are the valuation reports? Government conceded that for some of these, valuation had not happened. Honourable Speaker, I remember when money was being passed for Day by a Farmer, 723 billion at the time. We asked government, they said they had not carried out valuation. So we said, what stake are you buying if you don't know the value? You guided, Right Honourable Speaker, and you remember I disagreed with you. You said, let's pass the money. Then government will hold that money before dispatching it to the entity, to the private company, until they do valuation. And you said they will bring the valuation report here before the money is dispatched. They have never brought that report. And I told you, once we have appropriated that money, we become functus official. The Attorney General of Uganda, the Honorable Chiriowa Chiwanuka Nsumikambi Mugambe, promised on this floor, on the Hansard, that he will come to this House and table share certificates and table valuation reports for these companies. That has never happened. But government keeps coming back for more money. What are we funding? Because when you say we have got stake, we are shareholders as government in each of these companies, where is the evidence? But also, before you acquire stake, you first do valuation. Good business people know that before you inject your money in a business to say, I'm buying, let's say 30%, what is that 30% worth? That's when you do valuation, and then you know, I am buying this much stake. These people lied to us because they have never produced those certificates. They've never produced the valuation report. So they told us a lie. Why then do you keep coming back for more money? You don't want to be transparent. Because what we want to know, you are asking us to appropriate money to what? We want that accountability. By the way, it's not even enough, Right Honourable Speaker, that sugar begins to come out of Atiak in September. As sure as day follows night, it's not going to happen. Because every year they keep promising us. But let's even say it comes out. The taxpayer is asking, what is my stake? Forget that sugar will come out of that private entity. What is the stake? Why don't you want to respond to these questions? But you want to keep coming, asking us for more money and all of that. No, we should not proceed this way, Right Honourable Speaker, in my view.
AJ.
Right Honourable Speaker, I want to thank the leader of opposition for his very loud submission. I'm a first time here. Loud, I heard him clearly. That's what loud means. I am a first time member of Parliament like him, and I've since learned how things are brought to Parliament. Normally, entities of government, where government has invested, there is an audit act. So we send the Auditor General who reports to Parliament on what has been found. I was advised that we don't just drop documents on the floor of yes, and I'm telling you, I was advised. So, Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, I would want to imagine that all the money that was audited, the Auditor General can give a report on that.
He has finished.